I was 16, feeling very rebellious, and my sister, also a rebellious young person at the time, suggested we went and got tattooed, and I hadn't thought about it much before that. I had no idea what to expect out of the shop, that there would be designs on the walls to choose from, or any of that. I just figured you bring your own drawing to the tattoo artist and they'll put it on you just like your drawing. And so that's what I did, and the guy did a good job, and I watched him put it on and thought to myself, I could be doing this. I bet I'd like doing this. Well, I grew up in an artistic family. Art was just a fact of life, like sports are for most kids. And I was heavily influenced by record cover art at the time. So I started doing it. I ended up doing about 40 of these things. I made a terrible living at it, but learned a lot. Everything that an artist does is part of an overall thing. And the closest analogy I could think of is it's like putting money in the bank. Every time you learn something, every time you acquire a skill, every time you successfully get to the end of a project and have some kind of result that you're happy with, you've banked a little. You've improved yourself as an artist. It kind of all started with a guy named Ed Hardy, and he was one of the first tattoo artists to start self-publishing and putting these new ideas out into the world. The Tattoo Time series, really a groundbreaking series of books. And they were largely responsible for me wanting to become a tattoo artist. Of course, from there, it's expanded into whatever kind of vision I have for my clients or that they come to me for. There's lighting tricks that I use. There's a certain look with the lighting. I'm always trying to create a sense of luminosity and strong shadows, kind of beyond what you'd see in real life, an exaggerated sense of luminosity. There's usually an exaggerated sense of depth as well, which is great on skin. It's always neat to see a tattoo that looks like you could stick your finger into it or lift it up off the skin. So the lighting and the depth are definitely key elements of it. I'm known for abstract work that I do, also known as biomechanical. It's not a tattoo of anything. It's something that moves with the body, that has a flow that, done correctly, will flatter the musculature. So I'm well known for doing that, even though I also enjoy doing illustrative things as well.
I love tattooing and I love art, and so really what better way to put the two together. I wanted a complete bodysuit, and so I knew at that point that he was the one that needed to do my bodysuit for me, and so I basically let Guy just kind of run with the work. I totally trust him, and it's been phenomenal. It's been a great journey.
I feel that the environment that I'm in is part of what makes me, part of what provides me with my vision. I am a person that feels that personal space is very important. I'm not a hermit by any stretch of the imagination, but those chunks of time I get by myself out in nature are almost religious to me. I like the sensation of going somewhere that you don't feel like anyone's been there before you, ever. This is a lake that a lot of people fish in, but in kayaks you can go places no other boats can. And at the very far corners of the lake you can find little tributary rivers that probably no one's ever rowed up. But at the same time we're surrounded by rolling hills and lakes and things like that, which I find hugely inspirational. So the bulk of my clientele are other tattooers, which to me is the ultimate compliment, because these are people that know what they want. They know what's good and what isn't. And they're coming to me for large body work, sleeves, back pieces, things like that, that they're not just getting a tattoo, they're getting the whole experience, they're getting the learning part of it, they're going back to their clients and trying out some of those tricks on them.
Guy, to me, and to many others in our industry, it's not out of line to say that if we were in basketball, I mean, he's the Michael Jordan of our industry. I think what makes Guy's work unique is not just the biomechanical part of it, but the organics that he portrays in his work. I'm actually drawn towards that a little bit more.
What I'm doing on Dino this session is it's a full chest, a design we've talked about for a half year or so. And it's a piece that, on the one hand, it encompasses a lot of abstract biomechanical thing with the depth effects and the lighting and all that. But on the other hand, we're trying to bring the feel of a sort of an aquatic thing into it, since that's very much his thing.
That's where the whole idea was born for the aquatic feel for my chest piece, you know, pulling from organic things that you would see in the ocean, that they have a slight crossover appeal with the mechanical aspect as well, very rigid shape. And he just portrays that so well in his work. He makes it look so effortless. And so, you know, when I knew I wanted something like that, I mean, who else better to do it than him?
Each of us has our own attraction to tattoos or our own repulsion. And then there's countless details that once you start thinking about them, you're trying to get your highlighting just right, you're trying to get your line quality just right. You can't even list all the different aspects that go into making a tattoo look good. And each one of those things is something you can learn about and improve. You want them to be ecstatic. You want you to be ecstatic. And of course, my golden rule, any tattoo you're doing, doesn't matter what the subject matter is, you gotta ask yourself, if that was on me, would I be happy?